This week on the show we got a big interview with Wuso. I go into many different rants about many different things, and we got our demo reviews as ever. Right after this big tune by Way and Fugwidod, which just dropped this week on Evo, the new sub-label by Dream Catalogue for singles and duos.
Then that building is hell. This is the most obnoxious group of money-hungry, low IQ, high-energy, jackrabbit, fucking wannabe, big-time, small-time, shit-talking, bothersome, irritating bunch of motherfuckers I have ever had to endure for more than 5 minutes.
The following announcement has been paid for by the Canvas World Order.
sorry, I was taking a hit. It's early in the morning on a Saturday. You got your coffee, your croissants, or in my case, a bong full of weed. And we're here for another weekly edition.
Smoke weed for the
Campus.
podcast.
Yeah, why not? It's early in the morning on a Saturday. The sun's just coming up. The birds are chirping.
Fair enough.
I got a crow on my windowsill. It's nice.
I've
You know?
got water, much better.
So it's like early hours when we're recording this. The sun's literally just coming up for me. I'm seeing the sun slowly come up. It's just it's looking beautiful right
I've
now,
got the
not gonna lie.
curtains fully closed in my room, so I've got no idea whether it's light or dark outside, regardless.
You live like you're in a box, man.
No, I don't. You're the one who fucking does that, not me. I go for long walks every day, at least.
No,
twice
I
a
mean,
day.
like when you're in like your office or your studio or whatever it is. I don't know what you call
Studio,
it.
I
But,
guess.
like, you always have the curtains drawn and you always have the lights off. I've noticed this about you.
Yeah. And then, like, you know, I spend a lot of time outdoors, so I'm not a cave dweller like you are.
Okay, there's no need to go that far. Anyway.
Well, you keep taking these deep breaths, so what I want to do is a deep breath competition right now, actually.
Oh, a deep breath competition.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
let me empty my lungs out real quick.
Yeah, I go.
That one doesn't count. That's a
Yeah.
yawn.
So we'll go on
that's
3,
cheating.
2, 1, go. All right, go and count me in when you're ready.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that was like 10 seconds in, 10 seconds out. I don't know how you're doing.
See, I could have gone much longer then, but I didn't want to sit there for like 30 seconds.
So this is actually one thing that we do as part of DDP yoga, which I haven't done in like 2.5 years. But this is one part that I remember.
Aren't you going to celebrate the fact that I just completely destroyed you on the deep breathing competition?
No, I'm going to completely no-sell you because...
Yeah. Well, that's the
But yeah,
thing.
no-
I've been doing deep breathing for like years and years. That's why I can hold it quite long. But that was, you know, I could go even longer than that, to be honest.
Oh, I thought that you were just like breathing in and like breathing out. I thought it was like the length of the breathe in. I didn't know you were holding it.
Oh, yeah. Like, don't you hold your deep breath?
No. I
Why?
channel my air.
No,
Because
you meant to hold it for a while too to get the oxygen going or whatever it is.
Okay. So deep breath and hold it is what you're saying.
Yeah, but I've just done it now. I can't be bothered doing it again. Just say I won.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's kick this drowsy Saturday morning off with some news, shall we? What's
Let's get
happening?
into the news. What's happened?
Let's see. So,
Quite a lot's happened
said-
since last week.
Yeah, you set the fucking internet on fire again.
Yeah, as always.
With your Otter Brown vinyl.
So this time last week, we'd just put out the Meerkat 2814. So we hadn't even we didn't even get to mention that on the podcast because that hadn't even been done yet. So yeah, the whole situation has occurred this week, from the Meerkat 2814 retweet competition all the way to 13 vinyls being on pre-order for 2022. So for people who don't know what I'm on about, do you want to explain it?
So basically, you put up a picture of a Meerkat holding a 2814 vinyl and said if this gets, what was it, 400 likes and 281 retweets.
Yeah.
Is that the number?
Hold
Then
on,
you would
let me
repress.
let me see how many impressions that had. It was crazy. One sec. Let me find
Was it like 30,000 or something?
Yeah, there's about 30,000 last I checked. Let me check now.
Anyway, while you're checking, I'll explain it.
34,000 impressions. Pretty good for a tweet.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. So now that we've reached that threshold, we are doing your Year of Dreams, which is 13 vinyls, It's basically sold to you in a full Monty package, and also as a special edition, you get some Otter Brown 2814 vinyl.
No.
That's,
The full Monty.
A separate.
Yeah, the
Isn't
full.
it?
So the full Monty is all 13 vinyls that we were planning for 2022 all at once, and you get massive savings off that. That's available to pre-order now. It's just you can order it while the pre-orders are open, basically.
Have a whole year's worth of vinyl ahead of time.
Yeah, there was also 200 Arthur Fair Brown. Can't even say that without laughing. 200 Arthur Fair Brown Birth of a New Day vinyls. You know what? I like saying vinyls because it pisses nerds off. Because they say, no, it's records, not vinyls. So
it's records.
I quite like the word vinyls. It's cool. Makes me like the whole format more, which, as you may be aware, I'm not a big fan of vinyl.
Personally, I'm quite a fan of calling them 33s.
33. Oh, yeah, nice one. Well, it's 33, isn't it?
Yeah, but I just call them 33s because, nerds.
33 and a third reminds me of Scott Steiner's maths promo, actually.
Yeah. 66 and 2%.
All right, let's not get sidetracked anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah, if we did get sidetracked, it would spell disaster for us.
I should have fucking had this up. Let me pull up the store. So,
hey, it's first thing in the morning, man. You're good.
Yeah. So, vinyl pre-orders. Birth of a New Day, Beloved Purple, or Otter Fair Brown. The Otter Fair Brown sold out in 1 hour. That was 200 copies, limited. But the purple one's still available to pre-order. Hong Kong Express, LYF, Oscarb, Abused Abuser, The Washimi Complex, The Anon Database. Remember, with a deep dive into the conflicted and scared psyche. Cerberus, New Tokyo Blue Mood. That a lot of people say that's the first ever Dreampunk album, and maybe it is. I don't know. HK and Sangam.
Definitely.
Upgrade Yourself. Yeah, go on more.
It definitely touches on a lot of those same sort of points. Yeah, I'd say.
Fentanyl Embrace, Cyberpunk 2020. That was my favorite album of last year, actually. Computer Graphics, Lo-Fi. Elegance the Damned, Good Things Begin in the Quiet. Autumn and Cerberus, Venus Cloud City, The Darkest Future with Floral Shop 2. So, if you didn't get Floral Shop 1, you can pick up Floral Shop 2 on vinyl.
The sequel's even better than the original.
Yeah, easier. The original is shit. Mystery, yeah, it's just a terrible album. Not that I've ever listened to it all the way through. I can't fucking stand sitting through that shit. Mystery Vinyl.
If I paid you $50, would you do a special for the Patreon where you sat through and listened to the entirety of Floral Shop 1?
What, when we review it?
Yes, in real time as we're listening.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, you know what? That's a fucking class concept for a podcast. Like, that can be one of our things on Evolve. Like, we listen to an album in real time and review it, and the people can play it at the same time and listen to us talking about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll do that with fucking Floral Shop for the first one. The worst album of all time. Not that I've ever heard it. All right,
$1 million ideas happening.
The last vinyl is a mystery vinyl. You won't know what it is until it arrives. So that's 13 vinyls, right? All on sale. So rather than month by month, you can buy them all at the same time, as part of the full Monty package, as it's called. So you'll get all 13 vinyls at once for our 2022 lineup. And, because you're ordering it all at once, there's fucking massive savings. So it's worth buying the full 13 set. If you wanted to, even if you wanted to pick up, I don't know, say the 2814 vinyl and then 4 or 5 others of these, at that point, you may as well just get the full Monty.
Yeah, because at this point, you've got a whole year's worth of vinyl a year in advance, What with all the vinyl confusions?
Well, it's not a year in advance.
This is something we wanted to bring up in the news. This is something we wanted to bring up in the news.
It's not
the whole problem with the vinyls.
Yeah, so it's not a year in advance, and this is exactly why we're doing this now. We'll never go back to doing vinyl release month by month again, or releasing it, bit by bit, because the whole vinyl industry is completely fucked now from the major labels. So do you remember a couple of weeks ago on Twitter I got criticised for saying, you know, like, oh, all these kids are going out to these fake record stores flicking through like Ed Sheeran vinyls. It's just laughable. And like a bunch of fucking little nerds came at me about it. Like there was literally like hundreds of people criticising me for that. Literally a week later, it came out in the fucking music media, oh, the vinyl industry's fucked because of the new Adele vinyl being pressed and blah, blah, blah. And now they've all completely flipped their tune. And now they're like saying the exact same shit I was saying. It just it just shows how fucking dumb some people are in the music scene. It just like pisses me off how stupid they are. Because they're so quick to like jump down people's throats if they say anything that's sort of like out of line. You know, like if it's like not the fucking norm or whatever. But that's the stupid thing, because like music's always meant to be like the cutting edge and like experimenting and, you know, saying things that, you know, are off kilter or whatever. Like, you know, that's the fucking job of the musician, going back all the way to like the fucking court jester. Now you get all these little geeks who want you to say like fucking say like the party line like they're all some part of some communist cult or whatever. Just fucking ridiculous.
Okay, I think this new segment is getting a little off topic.
No, it just pisses me off how fucking annoying they are. They're just like proper little geeks. So anyway, literally a week later, after I had to put it with that whole fucking witch hunt from these little geeks like Uncle Squid and M-Rail and so forth, that like they were the ones who instigated it, and then there's like 100 other little geeks who jumped onto it. So after I put it with that, literally a week later, the fucking indie music scene started blabbering on about the same exact shit that I said that they criticised me for saying the week before. So I was just like, man, that just fucking pissed me off.
Well, you're a trailblazer, dude. You come up with the opinions that are in people's heads 3 weeks before they have them. So
yeah. Watch them all jump onto NFTs a year from now too. Like once they realise that they're fucking idiots about that as well. Anyway, we'll talk about NFTs soon. There's a lot of NFT news. Shit, what was I talking about? Oh, vinyl, right.
Well, actually...
So yeah, the vinyl plants are like clogged up big time, right? So like we can't like make plans. Like you can't order like, you know, vinyl month by month anymore. You've really got to do it all in one big go because you got to plan shit out. So this is like the only way that we can do vinyl with the label now. And like, you know what? Like I think it's actually turned out better. Because, like, a lot of people who would have bought, like, the 2814 vinyl, you know, like, casual fans, now they're being exposed to, like, all this other stuff, like Ushimi Complex, Remember's new album, HK and Sangam, Cyberpunk 2020, Elegance, Autumn, you know, all this new stuff. So, you know, that's pretty big for the scene, I think, you know. Because a lot of people might want to buy the new 2814 vinyl, right? That are way outside the Dreampunk, and now they're getting like clued into the new stuff just from this like whole hype.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just good all around that like I don't think we'll ever do vinyl any way other than this again. You know, like an annual vinyl drop basically. I even it's even got me hyped on vinyl, and as you know, like I'm not a big fan of vinyl personally. Like I sort of leave all the vinyl production to other members of the Dream Catalogue staff. I don't really involve myself in that at all. It's never been my thing.
Yeah, well, you know, vinyl at the end of the day, it's been done so many times that to finally actually see some new life in it and see a new way of doing things, it's pretty refreshing.
Yeah, I bet you any money every fucking label rips this idea off within a year. Even the big ones. It's like when we started doing tapes and then Warp Records started doing them because they fucking caught onto our hype, and then that whole industry ballooned, and then like fucking band CDs who do most of the tapes in the tape sort of industry these days, like they've upped their prices like double. So it's like, you know, I'm not even fucking doing tapes anymore. It's like we started your whole industry, and now like we have to pay fucking double the price for the pleasure of it. Just like whatever. So yeah, and that's one reason I don't like to do tapes anymore. Yeah.
So moving on to other news stuff.
But yeah, like
Because-
let's just sort of cap this off on a high note, I guess. Like the
let's end this on a good
2814 Birth of a New Day vinyl, most in demand vinyl in the universe, I think, is finally out and people can grab it. But yeah, the vinyl news doesn't stop there, I guess.
Sorry, I was just
Reddit.
Yeah, Reddit. Fucking ugh. Who cares about
Here's
Reddit?
another rant,
It's
come
accessible. So you went on r/Vapor Vinyl and you pissed off a bunch of nerds by simply explaining yourself in rational, logical terms, and they went complete witch hunt on your ass.
Yeah. To be fair, there was some reasonable people in there, but the problem with Reddit is, right, the whole upvote, downvote system. So you can have 50% of the comments are fine, but they all get fucking downvoted. And then like the fucking like histrionic, screechy, like that Soy Jack face where, do you know the one I mean? Like the Soy Jack, like angry one where he's like looking at you and he's got the fucking teeth showing and shit. That's just what it's like on Reddit. Like the Reddit is like the format of Reddit invites witch hunting. Like that, it's absolutely the worst site for witch hunting, because it just every time like it becomes like one man versus the world. Have you ever seen the film The Elephant Man? So the scene where he's like running through the train station trying to hide his face from everyone near the end because like he doesn't want to show everyone his freak face.
Yeah.
And then like the whole crowd gather around and like he goes, "I am not an animal. I am a human being." That's I am not an animal. I am a human being. Yeah, sorry. It's just a classic.
Saturday morning, we're already getting fucking demented.
Yeah.
Where were you going with this?
So that's what Reddit's like. Like, if you don't, it's the same attitude as like the fucking little geeks who say ratio plus L plus all that shit. I don't even know what half of it is. It's like it's the same. Yeah, just the ratio shit. It's like communist cult mindset. Like you can't have any different opinions, otherwise, like you're a bad person, quote unquote. So like if you don't toe the party line, so to speak, you have to explain yourself. You put up against the wall, and you have to stand there and take the Spanish Inquisition, basically. And you get like it's just like one after another, just like stream of fucking horrible, rude comments. And you inevitably get like pissed off because like all these people are just being absolute like idiots. Because like half the time, like they don't even say things that are true either. They just like literally lie. They just have like these weird like stories that they have about you, and they just like say them as if they're true, with no like evidence or whatever. And then it's just like, then you try to explain yourself, and it's like they come at you with that. They just ignore the parts where you like disproved them or whatever, and then they try to spin it into something else, and it just never ends basically. So yeah, I had the whole Reddit thread, and I just
this is actually one thing I wanted to touch on because I'm noticing.
Basically, like, just to finish my thought on that, I just turned it into a bit of a joke because like it's fucking ridiculous. Like, it's not even worth taking seriously. Like, all of them were saying, "Oh, the label's over." I've heard it all before. It's like the same shit that I've heard from Reddit.
I remember people saying that fucking Dream Catalogue was over Yeah, back in the Chaos era and shit.
Even
And
yeah,
we're still here.
even back in 2015, it's the same shit, and
Yeah.
it's just like that's the thing.
And we're right here.
They want to like control people because they're controlled themselves. Like it's like it works like a cult. So like
Yeah.
if you don't agree with them, if you don't toe the line or whatever, you need to be like basically pulverized into submission. That's how it operates. So that's why I always said vaporwave is a cult. It's sort of like, Reddit operates this way, and that's why vaporwave and Reddit are sort of like intertwined in that sense.
Well, this is actually one thing.
That's why I don't use
into.
Reddit. I just absolutely hate it. It's, in my opinion, between Reddit and Discord, I can't think of which is worse, but like they're the two worst things on the internet for me.
Which one's
Probably
worse? Good
Reddit's
question.
worse. Yeah, it's fucking awful.
But I actually did want to get into this, speaking on like this concept of like people having like certain narrative and certain agendas. I think as we're entering the metaverse age, we're seeing, instead of everyone living in one real world that they all sort of like interconnected into each other through, everyone's living in like 7 billion separate fake realities, each one with their own sort of narrative and story.
What is a real reality?
A real reality is, living, existing, going out, working a hard job, bringing home the money, using it to survive. That sort of natural, also
Why is that?
almost
How's that
caveman like. Well, no. Let me put it to you like this: being natural is about living in a way without being sort of controlled or influenced. So I guess working
Why is
in a
that
sense,
natural,
if you're
though?
working
Like,
for
I
someone
don't
else.
understand. I don't agree with that. That's necessarily natural. Like, being controlled is also natural.
Okay.
Basically, I think like what you're saying, like you could come up with a better word to articulate it. Like in my opinion, like the internet is natural. It's like part of nature. It's part of the technology that we've created out of nature, and it's sort of
Okay.
like part of our natural world. No.
But we can
For
both
example.
agree that this idea that everyone's sort of living in their own mind, that's not like
No,
normal.
my point is there's no default normal state for a human being as such. Like there's so many different ways of being that have been documented historically, culturally, and so forth. That you can't say. It's really hard to say like one thing's normal and one thing's not. Like I'm kind of like actually interested in like evolution. Like how do we like what is to come in the future, like what possibilities have we not yet discerned. Like listening to music off an MP3 file, that's not, like, to go by your definition, that's not natural either. But is it a bad thing? I don't know. No, I think it's kind of good, actually.
I mean, you kind of diverted me from the point I was originally going to make. Like what I was going to say. What I was going to say was, what I think is going to happen with the metaverse and stuff is we're going to see this sort of separation of people almost be like artificially reinforced, because when someone's living in their own head, you come up with all these fantasies and hallucinations of what you want to happen or what you think should happen or how the world should be. And then in the metaverse, you can basically fake it, and so everyone's going to be living
like a virtual
in
reality. You mean?
Yeah,
Right.
but it's a person's idea of a virtual utopia, but when viewed from a far out point
Why
of view,
can't it be real though? Like, why can't it?
Well, the whole point of the metaverse is that it's supposed to be artificial.
Wait one
That's
sec. Let me, like, if you like zoom out, like Shima 33, is that real? Is that not part of some virtual world? And yet at the same time, it's like intertwined and intrinsically part of you too. It's like what you do day to day with your life is Shima 33. That's your work, that's your career, that's your like artistic being, so to speak.
That's true. But like with metaverses and stuff, everyone's going to be living in their own sort of universe. And so no one's going to really have that sort of shared
like in a shed.
kind of...
No, it is shed.
Well, I mean, this is just like a prediction.
No,
I'm
that's
not sure if it's-
that's what metaverse is. It's like a sort of shared like internet reality, I suppose. So,
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you've debunked my point on a Saturday morning, so that's good enough.
Like what
Let's
did
get
you
into-
what did you like think it was exactly?
I don't know because none of these companies have made it fucking transparent and clear. They've all been putting out these.
Like, I mean, yeah, like nobody knows what it is. I don't think even these companies know where it is yet, to be honest. Just a fucking buzzword at the moment, I guess.
For real. Okay, well, wrapping up the news because we've been going for fucking half an hour on just the news. We need to get on with the show. We talked about
NFT
Twitter.
news, isn't there?
We talked about Reddit. Fucking Hiket Nung went out of business.
Nobody can pronounce that fucking name. It's
Yeah.
it's like a Latin phrase. I can't remember what it is. Let me pull it up. Hicat Tunk or whatever. I can never if I can remember.
It's the biggest NFT market on the internet, and it went out of business.
Well,
And we were going to do our Patreon shit through it, and now we're going to find something else. Ah!
Hicat Nunk. So what does it actually mean?
It means
What's
give
this?
me your bloody money.
It means here and now in Latin, basically. So
Okay.
hen, let's call it hen because that's what everyone else calls it. H-E-N, hen. So hen shut down, right? It wasn't the biggest in terms of like sales volume, but it was the biggest in terms of like what they call objects being minted on the platform. So I won't say like artworks or whatever because there's various different things. So objects being minted on the platform, it had the largest volume. So what were your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm kind of having a bit of a worry about it because, like, we were going to do all of our Evolve NFTs through Hen. So
and
now that they're out.
You know what? Here's the thing, right? This is actually a really good example of why NFTs are really good. Because every single NFT that was minted on that platform, like, exists in Tezos wallets, like everyone's individual Tezos wallets. So all you have to do now is plug your Tezos wallet into a new platform, basically, and your whole collection will come up there. So the platform itself, the fact it went down actually doesn't really matter that much. It's because you can like put it elsewhere. Like the big one now is Object, objkt.com. That's the new big like Tezos platform. I mean, it was going beforehand, but it didn't have minting, but now it does. So it was just like a gallery beforehand. So yeah, like Object has essentially replaced Hen on the Tezos like market, and the culture of HEN Hen can keep going on there. So that's actually, you know, a really good live demonstration of why NFTs are so powerful. So the reason that works is because the files that the NFTs are locked to on the IPFS, the interplanetary file system, which is sort of like a peer-to-peer network of sorts. It's a bit more complex than that, but it's basically like decentralized web servers. So the NFTs, say like you upload a song to the IPFS, the NFT isn't actually the song itself, it's the contract that says like who owns that file on the IPFS. So like you can sell the NFT, like you can sell it as a token on the Tezos blockchain, which is separate to the IPFS. So like let's say I uploaded a song, right, or I minted it using Object, right? That would upload the song to the IPFS, and it would like lock it to a specific like non-fungible token on Tezos. Then I could sell that token to you, and you would buy it off me for however much, and then you would then own that file on the IPFS. That's how NFTs work, like at a most basic form. So that's why, like, even though the platform's like dead now, even though it was like the biggest thing, like the reason it died is because like the guy who owned it basically just threw a strop and deleted it. Just sounds a bit familiar to someone, I'd say.
Yeah, I definitely have no experience working with someone like this. I don't.
Well, that's the thing. Like, let's say if I threw a strop and just deleted everything off Bandcamp one day, where would everyone's Bandcamp collections go? They'd all be like gone. But if Bandcamp like fucking got with the 21st century, and like minted all that music into the IPFS and like developed its own sort of like Web3 system, your collections wouldn't be at risk because you'd like literally own them. You'd own the token that represented the data on the IPFS. See, that's how powerful it is. It's like people are so fucking dumb about this. Like they just don't understand it, and they just like the anti NFT people are like even fucking dumber than the music geeks. Like all the fucking music geeks who were going on about you know, the Ed Sheeran vinyl or whatever. Like the anti-NFT people are like even worse. they haven't done any research. They don't even know what they're talking about. So they just like chat absolute shit. So they'll say like every little criticism they've got can be easily answered.
I was in a Discord server that was owned by a friend of my wife, and my wife was trying to defend NFTs, and this guy posted in the chat, "There is no right way to do NFTs. Anyone who's involved in NFTs needs to fucking die." And I was just like, Jesus Christ.
They're just absolute morons. Like they can't even fucking argue it back once you come at them with the individual points because they don't know what they're talking about. Like they've literally been propagandized. And you know who does it benefit? It benefits like fucking Web2 corporations because like their time's up if they don't get with Web3. In this sense, actually, like Zuckerberg is really smart to you know take this huge risk, you know, changing the corporation to Meta and you know fully diving into Web3 at all costs. I think Twitter will survive too because Jack Dorsey's been clued into crypto for like years already. And you know, I think like Twitter will become more and more Web3 over time. In that regard, they should really like unban Donald Trump. I think as a sort of not just Donald Trump, but just like you know, because like the whole point of Web3 is like you know anyone can participate. There's no you know censorship and there's no authoritarianism and centralized power and so forth. Yeah. So that's like the essence of Web3. So like anyone claiming to be like a leftist and then backing like Web 2.0 corporations is just absolutely moronic. They just don't know what they're talking about. They're so fucking dumb, man. Pisses me off. But yeah.
Well, I mean, we've been going with this news for long enough now.
Yeah,
we've had like many rants off of you. Let's do one last thing before we leave it. Head of Barclays got fucking resigned from his job because he was involved with Jeffrey Epstein. That's the last bit on the news. Let's get into it. This is Wushimi Complex with Dreampunk at last.
Yeah, and we got an interview with one half of the Wushimi Complex. We saw right after this. up next, we've got our featured interview with Wuso. To hear the full-length version of this, sign up to the Evolve Magazine Patreon at patreon.com/evolvemaguk. You're sort of like key to like going, or do you just actually enjoy going? Because like for me, to be honest, like going to the gym's like a fucking chore.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's one of those things where like when you're there and you're into it, like you're enjoying it, but like that sort of getting the sort of motivation to actually go there and do the warm-ups and shit.
I think
it's like warming up that I hate more than anything, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel that honestly, because like I've had a situation where I'm like, I don't really want to go, but
Yeah,
I think when you like are keeping track of your progress and you see it as like, you don't see it as I'm going to the gym today to like work out. You're saying like, I'm going to the gym today because it's part of a long standing progress plan that I want to do.
Yeah.
Like I'm going because, you know, I want to try progressive overload on like my curls. So I'm curling like 45 pounds on each arm, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Like don't just treat it as a singular thing. Treat it as like
it's almost
part of
like a
bigger
game.
plan.
Yeah.
You know, it's very much like you go and like you've done your thing for that day, and then you can plan for like the next time you're going to hit that specific thing. Like being able, and I think people have a harder time sometimes because they're trying to hit like their whole body on like a single day. And I'm like, you can't do that. You can't. You have to like be able to hit different body parts on each day. And then when you're done that and you've done your whole week, it's like, okay, I've hit my whole body, you know, throughout this week. Let's kind of do it again. And then slowly but surely you see more progress on your lifts. You get higher bench press, higher deadlifts, you know, better shoulder presses, better curls, stuff like that. And it just comes with like time, you know? I think people, and this is probably just part of modern culture, is that everyone wants things so instantly that they fail to have the patience to, you know, let things progress at a good rate.
Yeah, and especially, you know, with the things we were talking about earlier, like, you know, that sort of like 5-second internet culture and such, there's that, you know, constant demand on you to, you know, have everything at once, really. And, you know, that makes it even more difficult in that sense.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, and back to the TikTok thing, it's why it's like, you know, I'm trying to think in my head, like, how, like, you know, that Everywhere at the End of Time, right? Everyone knows it, right? The album. Yeah, like people have somehow found a way to put that in fucking TikToks. Like, how? Like, what? Like, you know, like they basically split it up into 4 phases and just whatever. And I'm like, dude, how can you get an album that massive into that? So if they can find a way to do that, then I'm like 90% sure we can find a way to have like a very introspective kind of thing in a short form.
You could like film yourself at the gym and then just like layer some, you know, 2814 over it with a purple filter or something. That could be.
Oh yeah, dude.
Dreampunk.
The only thing is I feel so awkward filming myself in the gym. Like it's hard.
What you need to do is you need to compose some Dreampunk music to bench to. That's what you need to do.
Well, that could be like a YouTube mix, like Dreampunk music to work out to.
Dreampunk music to bench to.
Yeah,
that's so sick.
I don't know if it would work.
Motivational Dreampunk.
Like, might have to be like.
I'm fully expecting like just I don't know, tomorrow, just like an hour-long mix on the Dream Catalogue channel, just with like some boomer or whatever bench pressing with a purple filter and be like Dreampunk music bench to. We better make it happen. I swear to God.
Well, sadly, we're not a request service, but we'll think about it.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. I don't know. So, my question is, like, what's your proudest achievement in the gym? Like, what would you say, like, is one moment where you were like, holy shit, this is, like...
When I first benched 220... Okay, so... Oh, man. I guess because you guys use metric system more prominently. Okay, so 45 pounds is what in kilograms?
I'm actually more familiar with pounds than kilograms, to be honest.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay. So 225 is when you hit like the 2-plate threshold, right? So you have 2 45-pound plates on each side, plus the bar, which weighs like 45 pounds, and that's when you hit 225. 225 is on the bench press is when like you made it. Not like you totally made it, but like that's when like you're done with like, you know, the noob stuff. You don't have to worry about one plate or whatever.
Yeah.
And when I first hit 3 reps on 225, I literally was in a public gym and I popped the fuck off. I was just like, let's fucking go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like it was.
Are you
sick.
feeling
just
that
feel king of the
general
world.
like let's go energy at the moment? Then, like
Yeah,
generally speaking?
honestly,
Yeah.
you just kind of pop off, and I very much just went, let's go, let's
Oh,
fucking
I
go,
was,
slam the bar.
I just mean like in a general sense, like just everything. Like, are you feeling like pretty LFG? Let's fucking go lately.
Oh
So
yeah,
I've
yeah,
been
yeah.
feeling
Whenever,
that like quite a lot lately.
yeah, like when everything goes well, it's just you just go, let's
And
fucking go.
I think
dude.
it's I think it's
Go
like
crazy.
it's like a mind state. 'Cause, like even when things like go bad, like as long as you're in that sort of mind state, you can like fix them on the fly. Whereas like if you're not in that mind state, you can let shit like that really drag you down. And that's sort of the
Yeah.
difference maker, I think. Like staying in that sort of permanent, like riding the wave mind state. I guess.
A lot of people call it the mind and muscle energy,
Yeah.
or the mind to body connection. And when you have like that, you can really focus on just like developing your whole body, and it really helps your mental a lot. Like going to the gym, it doesn't fix everything. I still get depressed over stuff, but it gives me a reprieve and a place to go to,
It's like a modern day meditation almost, except instead of just sitting there doing nothing,
Except you're cracked out on 400 milligrams of caffeine, wanting to punch something, and you're just doing it on weights.
running around the gym just like channeling that macho man energy. I like it.
And then you got to take a massive dump afterwards.
Do you reckon you'll ever start going to the gym, Shima?
The thing with going to the gym, this is just like a personal thing, but like working out in front of other people, like I don't know, like working out has always sort of been more of a private thing for me.
Yeah.
It's like in front of other people, like I know that there's other people there who could easily, fucking squash me like a bug. So it's just kind of like when you're there, like I understand that you're supposed to be like focusing on yourself, you're not supposed to be like paying attention to other people, all that kind of shit. But at the same time, I just feel like more in a sort of like in the correct mindset to work out when I'm working out like solo. I don't know if that's just me.
I get that. I think I get more out of a solo lift than I do with other people. But honestly, so much of the time you just forget about everyone around you, kind of thing. Like, I don't know, David, you probably have. I mean, I know you tell me about your insomnia sometimes, but there are 24-hour gyms where like I used to go at like 1 or 2 in the morning, and you feel great.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
awesome.
like the gym I go to is a 24-hour one as well, so that's sort of advantageous for me. But I do need to go more, to be honest. So I just need to get into that sort of mindset for it, because like I'm always like
I think it's like
distracted by other shit.
what 20 days to have a habit or whatever, and that's kind of where you're
I've never heard that before, but that does sort of ring true to me. Like you can really, if you want to change anything about yourself, it does take I would say like 1 month of consistency, and you can change it. Like pretty much anything. Like people think like a lot of like our mindset and stuff is set in stone, but it's really not. Like you can really change almost anything about yourself if you just like stay consistent for a month or so.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like, and I guess, like a lot of the modern world wants you to think the opposite, that like everyone's got these sort of like conditions or whatever that are set in stone, but it's just not the case. Like mental disorders or whatever, like they're not necessarily things that I would agree with personally.
It's easier to keep people controlled if they believe they can't change things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Going to the gym, you have dominion over your body.
Yeah. That's
garbage that you're fed everywhere else.
Yeah. That's how I think like this really ties into like the punk aspect of Dreampunk, like what is punk? Like in the 70s, punk was that sort of like, anarchist, like fuck the system kind of thing. But what is the system now? It's like rather different to where it was then in many ways. I mean, in some ways it's still rather the same, but being sort of like counterculture or rebellious isn't necessarily the same thing as it was in the 70s, like dressing differently and being a bit outrageous and spiking your hair up or whatever.
Though I will say that I think some of that's actually coming back, in some kind of ways. I know that there's some artists out there that I can't remember the name of that like are bringing that back. People don't like it because it's very like incel-y, but it's like,
Oh yeah, like,
people
I know what you mean, like negative XP. Like I'm pretty familiar
or
with
whatever.
it.
I don't know
Yeah,
too
yeah.
much about it, but
Yeah,
uh,
like in my opinion, that stuff is like, I don't know, like it's more like it's like parody. Like to me, it's not like
Yeah, it seems pretty
Yeah.
dated to me. Like, I don't understand why you'd like the whole punk attitude of the 70s and the punk attitude of now. Like, okay, sure, there's similarities, but like the time frame, the context is like completely
right. Yeah,
radically different.
that's it's the context. Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to get at. Like this idea of self improvement and this like the idea that you can change things about yourself and such. Like that is punk today because we live in a world where like these things, like people are telling you like the opposite. Like the mainstream tells you the opposite, basically. So that is punk in itself. Like going to the gym, working out is in a weird way kind of punk.
Believing
and-
that you can change the world and then doing it is probably the most punk thing that you can.
Right?
fucking
Yeah,
do.
exactly. Yeah. And that that's the thing that ties the essence of the sort of like 70s attitude to right now in that way.
yeah, it was like when we were talking about and really kind of first conceptualizing what kind of dream punk is in that way. It's like, at least in the feeling of it, is just being surrounded by people doing their own thing, but like you have your own agency, you have your own individualism, and like being able to control that agency and individualism like in a way that especially if you're in an urban environment or anything like that where there's just like so many people around you, is in its own way like you're just trying to take control of yourself in a environment where you have none.
Yeah, and that's I guess that's the dream part. We live in like almost like dream-like absurdity today. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
TikTok man,
dream punk.
fuck them kids.
Yeah, so we
Well,
need
when
to
you're in a
need to
when
get
you're
in
in a
TikTok
dream-
and hack the mainframe from within.
yeah, I think most people are like living in the dream state sort of naturally because they've been induced into it by all the sort of subconscious and subliminals that are
Right.
surrounding us every day, and marketing, advertising, even like regular shit that's like not even like supposed to be subliminal or subconscious. Every advert you see, every sort of thing that's put out there nowadays always strikes me as disingenuous because there is no genuine, real kind of expression of self in marketing, in advertising. It's about selling a product, and more often than not, we're seeing people becoming the product. So there's a very dangerous school of thinking that came about in the 50s because of marketing. There's a very famous guy who like invented this, but basically it's the idea that like instead of selling a product, people are the products, and like how they behave and how they act, and if they act in accordance with how you want them to act, that's what determines the success of your marketing campaign, rather than the total sort of sales numbers or whatever the hell. And I think that's really dangerous because basically what we've got is a brainwashing competition between all the big corporations, and they're all in a rush to see who can brainwash the universe the fastest.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
really
no,
dangerous.
It's one
So
of the core
what-
principles of marketing.
So what would be the punk like return to that then for you?
The punk return to that. Well, first things first, it starts with like recognizing it. It starts with like snapping out of the dream and looking around the world around you and just realizing that like all the media that you're fed is fucking bullshit. All the news is lies. All the fucking, agendas that are pushed onto you by companies and corporations are just to like make you conform to their ideals. So once you've recognized that, then you can start to think, okay, well, I'm not any of this. I'm not these labels that are attached to me, or these labels that are given to me by these companies. I am myself. And as a human being, I have the right to define how I want to live my life. And so from there, you start sort of taking your control back, because we sort of, we sell ourselves into these companies, into these corporations, sort of unknowingly, because we just support them and we just think, oh, we could just, they could just coexist with us. Coca-Cola could just be on my desk. It doesn't matter. But when you think about that, what are you effectively doing? You're saying, right, I am buying a product, and by extension, I accept the right for Coca-Cola to influence my mental process. So you have to kind of. It's difficult, but you have to realize how much
you're saying all
thinking.
this, but like you swill like 3 liters of Coke every single day.
Okay, but I've started taking the label off now. So I'm doing Coca-Cola and Punk way.
Yeah. I know we're running for a bit, but I need to say, like, you know what? Actually, I watched recently for the first time, and unironically, like, really kind of moved me in a way that I wasn't expecting.
What?
Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Oh, you know what? I actually started watching that recently because I've never actually seen it in full. I'm about 8 or 9 episodes in, so don't spoil it for me.
Okay. But I watched the original series and then the end of Evangelion movie, and I think it permeate. And then like I watched just a bunch of analysis and because it really kind of shook me in a way that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
And I think it's, to this day, probably one of the most relevant pieces of media you can watch to reflect our modern world. And it's almost in its own way very much like contains a lot of the themes of Dreampunk that I think you will be very shocked with, David.
Nice. Yeah, I'll definitely keep watching it then. And like in that sense, in regards to anime, like I think anime in general, just as a style, is a huge influence on Dreampunk. It's a big influence on me. Ghost in the Shell, Akira, like particularly Akira. I think like I don't know if you heard last week's podcast, sir, but like we did a whole segment on why I think Akira is actually a Dreampunk film rather than a cyberpunk film. Like just everything about it is Dreampunk.
Osho did that segment actually.
Well, I'll show you. Well,
that's interesting to me because I would always think that Serial Experiments Lane is very much in that vein, as well as Ghost in the Shell.
I've never actually seen Serial Experiments Lane before. I'm not that familiar with anime, to be honest. Like I've not seen that much.
It essentially like talks about a lot of AI and the evolution of humanity kind of thing. Like it also kind of goes into cyberpunk's territory, but like I think you'll realize like Evangelion very much kind of
like
because it's very meditative, very like introspective. Like the whole thing isn't introspective. It's amazing.
Yeah, in regards to cyberpunk and Dreampunk, like I was saying this recently to Shima, like I think cyberpunk is sort of like that was the sort of prophecy of today that is sort of manifested, but at the same time in its manifestation has come like this sort of dreamlike absurdity, like I said earlier about it all. It's not this just sort of like material technological world of cyberpunk, but rather this kind of spiritual mystical aspect to it, like a return to mysticism, prior to the sort of like materialist philosophy of the past 200 years.
That's you got to DM me when you're done it, because like I think you'll find that that's a lot what Evangelion's about.
I'm just gonna
religiosity,
watch it,
but you need
I
to watch it as soon as possible.
Yeah, I better actually watch this before this podcast goes out so no one DMs me spoilers.
Maybe just do an edit. Seb's right. Oh my god.
Sounds like I got to get started on this Evangelion shit as well, man.
Have you never seen it?
It's 26 episodes in the movie, and that's it. That's all you need to watch.
I saw the first I think 3 or 4 episodes, but then I bailed on it because
that's what I did. Like I tried it years ago. I tried to watch a few episodes, and I really hated the fucking kid in it. And then like people kept saying,
you will.
People just kept saying, stick with it. It gets good. So I've started watching it again just recently, and I'm about 9 episodes in. And I would say
I still hate the kid, but I realize a lot of people will say he's a reflection of us, and it's kind of true in that way.
I read online somewhere that you're supposed to hate him.
Actually,
that was the intention.
Yeah, actually, I found one way to hate him less was to, in fact, turn the Japanese audio on, because I actually was watching it in English at first, and the voices are fucking annoying. So
Yeah,
I don't know why I
watch
even
the
bothered with
subs.
that.
I don't know
yeah,
if you
yeah.
can, but watch the subs.
Yeah, yeah,
It's,
definitely. Like the Japanese voices definitely
Subs,
improve the
not
whole
dubs.
stats cover.
Also, there's some parts that you're probably gonna laugh at, and we'll talk to you about it later. But yeah,
So, well,
Doesn't a
I'll
fucking penguin get involved at one point?
come
well,
on,
yeah,
don't
there's
spoil,
penguin,
don't
but it's more
spoil,
like
don't spoil it on me. I don't want to know.
yeah, don't worry.
Fucking ruining it on me. That said, I don't think it'll ever be better than Death Note. That's like the best.
All-time classic. You got a problem with Death Note, Seb?
Probably. No, I actually like Death Note, but in terms of introspective anime that made me think, I think it's better.
Death Note made me think a lot. Actually, like I thought that was one of the deepest things I've ever watched. I thought just the. I've never seen anything like really reflect paranoia and sort of like psychosis and stuff better than that. Like even thinking of like great like classic Alfred Hitchcock films and shit like that. Like I think Death Note's like the best when it comes to that kind of thing. I'd even say it's better than Dostoevsky for that and Crime and Punishment. Like I reckon Death Note is better than that.
I think it's
that's
really
how
good
highly
in
I
that
rate
way.
it. Actually,
No, I think it's really good. I don't know. Maybe it's like I don't get, or I'm not as much into like stuff about paranoia and stuff. I'm more like into really macro like human condition stuff, and I think that also watch Serial Experiments Link because it kind of goes into that. But
I think that's the thing. Like you can either go like into the human condition, or you can ruminate on aspects of the human condition. Because like obviously like paranoia is a part of the human condition in that sense. So like you can like reflect back on the human condition as such, like through a theme in that way. Which so
also
in that regard,
Evangelion
like,
shits on all modern anime, and it's amazing.
I wouldn't even know
day.
where to start with modern anime. To be honest, I've got no idea. I'm like I barely know anything about anime really.
I wouldn't consider myself a weeb, but the stuff that it kind of goes into is just like it's almost the opposite of what I guess Dreampunk is in that way, because it's like we're all about escapism and introspectiveness and about really separating yourself from the world. But it's
you know what I actually like, in my opinion, like that isn't what I'm into with Dreampunk. Like I see it as the opposite of escapism. In fact, like I see Dreampunk as a sort of representation of like today. So for me, like for example, like just thinking of something like Birth of a New Day, right? Like you could take that as like some kind of like futuristic, like cyberpunk, dystopia or whatever. But for me, actually, like the themes and the feeling and the mood of it is actually a real reflection of, being in a city in the 2010s. Like that was the mood of it. And in that regard, like Dreampunk for me isn't an escape. It's rather, what Dreampunk can be is rather an assertion. Like, and that would be, the punk aspect of it, like the rebellion aspect. Yeah. So I like, kind of, I think like I think we're like, it's evolving is actually, like the album Sangaman I just did, like this notion of like hyper modern, to me is like where Dreampunk will evolve to. I think. Just because that is the time, like we're in this sort of like hyper real time, and that's what Dream is in a way, and like that again. That's why I say like Akira is a Dreampunk film, because Akira is a sort of like a rebellion against the universe. He is the mystic that alters the the course of things, with the like reawakening of something within him. That is sort of like beyond this material physical world. So for sure. For me, like I would say like Dreampunk's like the opposite of escapism, but I guess like everyone's going to interpret things differently, so there's no like
wading through the noise
you
have to go through.
There's
so much noise.
There's no like right or wrong answer, I guess. Like, you know, what Dreampunk is or what it becomes is sort of, in a way, a consensus of opinions that occurs over time. And that, you know, it's like, what is rock music? Like, rock music in 1955 or whatever would have been, you know, like Bill Haley. And then, like, what's rock music by 2005? Like Radiohead. It's not quite the same thing. So, like what
Radiohead.
So it's like, you know, what is Dreampunk? You know, Dreampunk isn't the same thing that it was, you know, 5 years ago for sure.
No, for sure.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's always evolving, and like music has to evolve, really. So
or else you just, you know, end up in the same place, which is you know kind of what we hate.
Yeah. Like that's why so many
band.
That's why so many people left vaporwave. That sort of like rigid like feeling of it all. Yeah, that's. But yeah, like, you know, so I just sort of spoke over you to say that piece, anyways. I
get it, because like you know, I think remaining stagnant is just kind of self-defeating, and and you know, I don't want to crap on vaporwave too hard in this podcast, but I mean, like, you know,
vaporwave shit.
Okay, well, you know, that's kind of what really hurt them. And sure, you know, a lot of people might not like where some new sounds and like our scene is going, but it's those sounds are like absolutely necessary so that whatever becomes like the hottest thing within the scene after that is like, that's a development of all the experimentation and work that, you know, we've put in. So
yeah, definitely. So we're coming up to like 56 minutes here. Probably a good time to wrap up the interview as we're approaching like 1 hour. So before we sign off, do you like want to, I guess, like plug anything that you've got coming up or anything of that nature? Like what to look out for?
We got the Wushimi final, which is coming out soon, making its way into the real world. Some cool announcements down the line if you pay attention to, you know, some Dreampunk labels. Definitely keep an eye out for that. I am still looking to finish some videos at some point, but music is kind of taking priority at the moment, but I'm still looking on doing that. And overall, just, you know, keep listening to the tunes that we have coming out of our scene and follow as many labels as you can, because they're all putting out great work, and a lot of them could always use your support. So, you know, thanks.
Safe.
There you go.
Cheers for coming on, Seb.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, man.
And let's roll out with a tune from Seb. This is Wuso with Silent Beauty. So I've been meaning to tell you about this idea I had a few days ago, and it ties into
Wait.
hyperculture.
Are we not doing the Osho voices this week?
No, we're not doing the Osho voice this week. I can't.
We'll put that on ice for a while.
Yeah, we'll bring in Osho when we have the energy to do it. But it sort of ties into hyper reality, hyper modernity, and it's the idea that I had. And it's called hyper content, hyper everything, and now we've got hyper content. So my idea for hyper content is right now the speed at which a human can like process information is limited by their five senses. You know, you can only read something at a certain speed. You can only type at a certain speed. These kinds of things. With hyper content, it ties into the whole idea of having like neural links and stuff.
Yeah.
And the concept that I've come up with is basically once a neural link's been developed and you can like absorb content through this neural link, the rate at which you absorb information will be massively increased. And so hyper content is basically the idea that you are being hammered with data all at the same time. Like, have you ever like listened to 3 or 4 different songs at the same time, or like tried to watch 2 movies at once, or something like that? Imagine that, but like to the nth degree, and like going directly into your brain, like past your senses, and just like directly impacting your psyche almost.
So the funny thing about this is like you can even think about it without the Neuralink aspect. You could just think about how we already have that information overload. You know, that's a phrase that actually goes back to like the 70s or 80s, information overload. But like the funny thing is like their information overloads like nothing compared to what we have today. if that was information overload back then, I don't even know what today is. So yeah, we already have this idea of like hyper content, as you've put it, in a way. We can barely like, this is like what we were talking about with Wuso then about, like the 5-second TikTok culture and shit like that. Like, we can barely even sit down and watch a movie anymore these days. I know I literally can't watch movies anymore. Like, I find the whole notion of it like antiquated. Like watching humans act for 2 hours, it's just like, that's 1/8 of my waking day. Ideally, if I get 8 hours sleep. Most nights I don't get 8 hours sleep, but you know what I mean. Like
hyper content is also kind of my idea for hyper content did kind of play a bit more on sort of the artificial element of it, because what with AdSense Apocalypse, that's another idea I had. Where basically the only way it's what we covered on that, that Evolve mix where it was like waterboard yourself, and the only way to feed your family was to keep watching ads. I call that the AdSense Apocalypse, because the idea behind hyper content, those two kind of like they correlate, because this hyper content is fed to you at such a rate where it completely overwhelms you, but at the same time you have to subject yourself to this, because the same content the same algorithm that's feeding you the content is also paying you your social stimulus check. So if you don't keep up with your ad quota, if you're not watching at least like 500 ads a day, you ain't getting paid. And that's just how it is in the hyper future.
Just hyper.
I love that word. It's probably one of my favorite words.
I mean, it's it's the word of the present, isn't it? It's like everything's hyper. Like we're going past the post-modern era into the hyper-modern era, in my opinion. That's what this time in reality is. But then that's the funny thing. Like you can't really categorize it. So, what is hyper-modernism? Who knows?
Well, what do you make of this idea of like the information overload being sort of like artificially enforced, where like you're kind of like you are made subject to it even if you're not wanting to be subject to it?
Well, that would be not too dissimilar from like criticisms of capitalism and stuff. So in a way, it's like just a continuation of the criticism of capitalism in that regard. That's had a long like history.
So forcefully subjecting people to information overload, that's Gucci. That's
Well,
good.
this is an interesting thing actually. I was having this discussion with that label Global Pattern on Twitter. Let me pull it up. Cause this is actually an interesting. Actually, funny thing is, he's just replied to me. So that when I read this out, we'll get his latest reply right now. So he posted a thread with a little meme of some sort of old-fashioned girl in an old-fashioned dress with a harp, looking kind of earthy and stuff, and it said, "Dream job. Sorry, I don't dream of labour." So it's just a little communist meme or whatever. So whatever.
Yeah. So
I said, then who will create all the tapes and USB sticks in the solar punk utopia? Just sort of riffing on the fact that he's a sort of communist / solar punk kind of guy, but at the same time he does all this plastic merchandise and such. It's almost antithetical to this whole concept
message.
So he said the same people who make them now, but only if they enjoy doing it. So that's what communists in essence believe. You'll do only the things that you want to do in this weird utopia that can supposedly exist. So I said okay, let's say there's some group of people who adore working on USB key factory lines. So I gave him that one just, for the sake of argument. Not that I think anyone would ever dream of doing such a thing, but anyway. So I said, so then who's cleaning the shit out of the sewers while the rest of us sit about doing fuck all? So he said these answers were decided centuries ago. People do it in turns. Doing fuck all is a privilege which you get being born in a former empire. So he pretty much contradicted himself there. He's saying people do it in terms. So already, there's the concession that, oh, wait, in the communist utopia, you will have to be doing work, actually. So I said, okay, so he brought up the point about how this was, quote unquote, decided centuries ago. This is what these people actually believe in.
By the Communist Council.
So I said, and centuries later, still nowhere near being implemented because it's delusional as fuck and will never happen. Anyway, why would you set Leonardo da Vinci to work in a sewer when he could be painting masterpieces? And doesn't sewer treatment itself require a trained expert? So, nobody wants to do sewer work, but, you can't rotate sewer work because it requires an expertise, which requires, a constant work. So who's gonna work in the sewer then, in the communist utopia, where everyone's free and happy and little cartoon characters who play music all day?
Life is like a Disney animation.
Yeah. So he said, don't you help your wife with the dishes? And Pampa says, I don't know what that means. Or are you the Da Vinci of the family? Then he said, treating society and the planet like your own home might change the normal way things work. So I said to him, you neglected to answer my question sufficiently. Why would we want society to rotate sewer work when it requires a trained expert to do it? Just sort of the point I just made now. So I said, why, and also why force a genius like Da Vinci to work in a sewer when he's on the cusp of some kind of genius breakthrough? The real question is, why would anyone want this? So he said, if we weren't so alienated from each other, some people could do it even for free, just for the common good, to make life better for their beloved ones or their neighbours. But yeah, we're too used to being wolves to each other, and there's nothing common and nothing good. So, that's an interesting point. And this actually gets into, the thing you brought up. This is why I'm tying it in. So I said, well, who is we in this case? All humans on Earth, your local town, or internet beings. How do you even define such a term as we in the modern world? How can we have a common good if we itself is so hard to define? So his reply that I've just seen now, I'll read it out. I haven't seen this yet until right now. So he said, all humans, of course, as a species, but starting from the closest people around you, gradually, planet is too overcrowded now to keep thinking just locally, but you can't really solve global problems without making your home cozy and safe first, then your neighborhood, then city. And this should be done collectively because history shows that all vertical power always cares about is getting rich first and all other things later. Only if you protest and get beaten by cops, then maybe they'll change something. All countries are the same. Elites guarded by cops. So he just gave me the basic communist spiel. Whatever.
Yeah, this doesn't seem to be like. I mean, like what you said about vertical integration is true, but isn't communism like a vertical integration system as well? Like, it's not like
that's the thing. So like communists or leftists and stuff believe there can be some kind of like totally like he used the word vertical, right? So like obviously he wants horizontal, like everyone's equal, everyone's the same and such, and that's what communists actually believe can occur, even though there's never been any such thing in history, and like the likelihood of that ever occurring is so absurdly like impossible that and just it just can't happen because it's just like man, I don't even want to get into it's stupid. Like
yeah,
I can't it's like the same thing with like the anti-NFT people. It's like materialist philosophy. Like there's no individuality. You can't assert like an individual knowledge of like God in materialist philosophy, for example, because there's no like empirical proof of God. So to a materialist, there's no like the only way is like science, basically, which is why you have this sort of like scientism. But then there's this like cult of equality that comes out of it too, from like Marxism and so forth. Just like it's just so antiquated that the fact that it's even like being brought back up today in today's world is just fucking absurd. Like it's got nothing to do with. It just annoys me.
It seems
like
to me
fucking...
like you've spent most of this episode of Canvas
ranting
about shit you've seen on Reddit and Discord.
Reddit, Discord, Twitter. Yeah.
Reddit, Discord, Twitter. Yeah. So let's leave Reddit, Discord, and Twitter alone. And let's
let me go back to these two tweets. So he said, if we weren't so alienated, like this is where you'll probably like agree with him on some part. And again, like I've said before, right? I actually agree with some of the Marxist criticism of capitalism and such. So he said, if we weren't so alienated from each other, some people could do it even for free, just for the common good, to make life better for their beloved ones or their neighbours. But yeah, we're too used to being wolves to each other, and there's nothing common and nothing good. So this is the interesting thing about like pure individualism. The word he used is good, wolves. So, well, actually, no, it's not good because like wolves move in packs, actually. So it's a pretty bad word. But I get the point he's trying to make. More like snakes, I guess. If he said we're too used to being snakes to one another, that would make more sense. Anyway,
think about it!
Yeah, that's the most hypermodern ending for this segment.
This is Sega with export! It is time for our world recognized.
Wait, we're not doing accents again, are we? Please, I can't say any more accents after 100 minutes of Trump and Boris last week.
Well, I mean, it's
Please,
kind of
no.
a shtick.
Yeah. When you read in the demos, I mean, I'm not doing a fucking whole segment of impressions like we did last week.
Here is the demo segment. The first one is from where's her name? Obina. And she calls herself Gabriella in the email, so I don't even know.
Okay,
she says,
hello, here is a private link to tracks I recently made. I hope you enjoy.
Oh, let's see what you got. This is I Do by... Honestly, I can't even remember her name. Gabrielle, let's see what you got. I mean, it's okay.
I like it.
Nothing special. It's okay. I'm willing to give her another track. See what else she's got.
It's got that kind of like, eternal loop vibe going on with it, which I like. Yeah, let's listen to some of this.
You see, this one's decidedly more shit.
You think this is shit? I
I
actually
mean,
quite
it's
like
just
it.
like...
It's just what?
It's not going anywhere. It's not doing anything. It's just the
Yeah, but
same
why
loop.
does it have to? I like the just sort of meditative like repetition of it, to be honest. I don't know, I think it's pretty cool, to be honest.
I mean,
Trying to
so
figure
far,
out what's this name? Ada Falakea.
if I had to guess, it's...
Sounds kind of like Nigerian or something like that.
Yeah, some kind of African...
But then her picture's clearly not Nigerian, she's like white or something.
Yeah, and then she's got her text in Japanese. Who is this person?
Yeah, it's like the name's in Japanese, and then she signed herself as Gabriella.
And then her email's from like some random African person.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, quite like it so far, to be honest.
I want to hear something that
Right, one
isn't
more.
just a simple loop.
Let me skip into this one. So this is just a pretty standard draw. I'm not as into that one, to be honest. I mean,
All
this.
three of those were just loops.
I mean, it's alright. This one, I quite like this first one.
The first one had a good atmosphere to it, but like, as soon as I heard that it was just kind of looping and going nowhere, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, it's one of
But
these.
she's got one more here. Let me listen to this one. It's just famous. I mean, it's alright, yeah. I don't know if it'll fit on Dreampunk though, to be honest.
No, I'm not really into, to be honest.
Alright. Well, I quite liked it.
Not my cup of tea, my guy.
Okay.
Alright, who's next? Who have we got here? S. Smith. Let's see, S. Smith. Hello, sirs. Sabrage is Houston-based and unpredictable. We are into drugs and pagan rituals. Peace, S. Well, I must say, S, I personally quite enjoy a bit of pagan rituals myself. Let's hear what you've
Alright, go on,
got.
pick a tune.
Let's listen to Rebound 4.
So druggies, are they? Do you say?
Druggies who do pagan rituals. If I was doing a pagan ritual to this, I would be the sacrifice. Moloch wouldn't even like me. I don't have much, you know. I mean, this is more like UFO music than pagan ritual music. Do you think that aliens
like, I think it
paganism?
just, to be honest, it just sounds someone like playing random keys on a keyboard to me. Alright, let's try a different show.
Unfound for. Okay, good, we have bass. I like that. I like that. That's got attention to it. Now this one, the atmosphere feels a lot more intense than the other one. You see, now this is pagan music.
You know, I think I'd really like this actually. Todd, OSB, sort of seems to be the kind of thing he'd be into. Yeah, definitely after hearing that.
Yeah.
That's pure MK Ultra music.
That's dope. That's dope. I don't know why I just really rate this. I think it's just like the tension that it had at the start.
Yeah, I like this tune, yeah, it's pretty good. You know what though? Like, I would prefer if this had vocals, this music. I just want to hear someone doing some weird shit over the top of it, to be honest. Especially if it's like,
So-
you know, meant to be pagan ritual music or what have you.
Yeah, you want to have
Wanna
some
hear
like
some, like-
chanting on there.
Yeah, not even
Some, like,
necessarily
blind chants.
chanting, to be honest, just like, I don't know, something fresh. Some screaming, singing, I don't know.
Do you think you could cut a rap over this?
Why don't you try?
Gonna sacrifice a bunch of kids to Moloch. Gonna sacrifice a bunch of kids. Yeah. Sacrifice kids. Yeah.
So it's
sacrifice kids,
paganism to you is about sacrificing kids to Moloch.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, it's not all about that.
That's like the main core fundamental conviction of a pagan.
Well, it's like there isn't like a religion called pagan or whatever. It just sort of denotes a certain type of people.
They
So
celebrate the solstice by burning babies. That's what they do.
I think you're confusing paganism to like Hillary Clinton and co.
Comet pizza and shit. Okay.
Alright, can we not say that on the podcast, please? Keywords to get us banned. Alright.
Daniel what was that? Alcina Santos. Daniel Alcina Santos.
Comment pizza. Alright, go on.
Hello, my name is Big Bastard. I'm an artist based in the Netherlands, and I make visual art like light installations, VJ sets, video, photography, music videos. I make music seriously for about 3 years. I release some stuff on Spotify with a small playlist. I want to give you an insight to some of the things I'm proud of. I really respect what Dream Catalogue does because it sparked my imagination. It inspires me to make more what I love making. Thank you for that. Thank you for maybe checking out these demos. Kind regards, Big Bastard. Let's see what you got, Big Bastard.
Alright, pick a tune.
Grind.
Grind?
Yes. I can relate to that title.
What are you thinking?
I like this.
What was that? I couldn't hear you.
I'm rating this. I like how everything's kind of all over the place and scattered.
Yeah, it's got a sort of Halo Acid-ish element to it, and not really good actually.
Because Halo, when he lays out his tunes, it's all kind of all over the place. And this kind of gives me those same kind of feels where it's just like stuff's kind of scattered, but in a good way. If that makes sense. It's not random. It's like
Yeah.
it's different. It's just different. And it's nice.
Alright, shall we try another one?
Yeah, I'm willing to give this. Let's try the first track because 1469.
See, my only problem with that tune is there was the sort of mid-range was so like heavily compressed that it sort of like drowned out the rest of the track, I felt. But yeah, let's try another one. Alright, I like the way it was like laid out and stuff though. So first tune, did you say?
Yep.
Alright.
Oké, dus.
Bit of hard vocal.
Angst voor paniek, met een blauw. Angst is het gevoel dat wordt gecreëerd als je huidige situatie. Wat was het nou?
Ja, angst wordt veroorzaakt.
Yeah, this is pretty sick. I like this.
Yeah, this is hard.
Wordt veroorzaakt door...
If this was around during the heights of hard vapor, this would be like on fucking anti-thermal HPR. I'll pull it in a bit closer. I was just saying that if this was in the heights of hard vapor, it probably would have been on HVRF or anti.
Yeah, defo, yeah.
Dus paniek is.
It's not too dissimilar from the stuff I was making last year actually. The sort of, I mean, like, you know, like service work and stuff like that, sort of on that kind of. But then, like, you know, Inertia Eyes as well, like his latest drop, sort of on this like hazy lo-fi techno, but because this one's a bit more gabba. Yeah, I rate it. Yeah. Go on, let's try one more.
Let's try one more. Let's try Sublimination.
Sublimation. You know, the thing is, though, you know, when we accept people on the demo segment, like, we've got, like, a backlog of people we haven't even hit up from it yet. So it's like, if we accept them, like, sometimes we forget to hit them up.
I'm curious to see where this is going.
But
So
I'm
far.
seeing a potential acceptance, but, you know, I need to be
Yeah,
wild one more time, I think.
Yeah, give us one more track that's out there. Give us one more
Yeah.
track that's interesting, and we'll let you in. You're very close. Just don't shit the bed.
I'm just gonna skip this song because it's a bit of a slow stuff. Oh, it's a bit of an
Oh
ambient
no,
tune.
you shut the bed. Oh no.
No. Keep listening. You know,
Okay,
you know what else I'm thinking of actually? There's a Russian label called Ghost Zvuk with Butakno on, and sort of similar vibe to him as well. Actually,
I like those stereo pen kicks. That's pretty fresh.
I actually didn't notice the stereo panel because I've only got one earphone on.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
like stereo panning on the kicks. It makes it feel like it's like bouncing all around you.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, no, I'd say this guy's it.
I need to be wild one more time. This one's a bit, you know. All right, which was the one we didn't hear?
The last one we haven't done is Flow Over.
All right. The Great British Flavour.
Flowing over the River Thames, of course.
Let's just get into Boris mode again. Then don't want to do that. Don't want to do that again. We'll save. We'll put Trump and Boris on ice for a year. Bring them back next year.
Put them back into cryogenic storage.
We skip into this one a bit. I can't help but hear a fart from that. You might want to cut off a bit of that, turn it more into a sub kind of sound.
Yeah,
Sort
no,
of
honestly,
square.
like, could you send me this? Because like, I'm getting a bunch of like inspiration for this. Like you,
Well, you're
you
gonna
might
rip
be
him
on the
off.
fence about it.
No,
I'm not gonna rip him off.
I was gonna. You didn't even let me finish. You know, like you could have waited till I fucking gave my final analysis. All right. I would say, yeah, he's pretty good. I'll forward it to our email inbox.
Cheers, brother.
We should have a little celebration thing. Hold on.
Did you get that? Have a sound effect for when people.
See, the thing is, like, when we say, you know, it's good or whatever, it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to release a fucking
Victory
album.
fanfare. That's what we need. We need a victory fanfare.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to, like, release an album from them straight away. Like, we like to work with artists through singles and shit first. Like, you know. Like, Matila McKee is a good example. He's a guy we brought on first with a single. You know, worked with him a little bit. Got him, you know, promote some of his other music and on Spotify playlists and such, and then eventually we did an album with him on tape, and then, you know, it's just you build these things up basically. It's like you know getting on a label today. It's not really the same as it was like 20 years ago. It's like what we've got in Dreampunk. It's like a scene. You know, you want to be part of a scene. Because, like, you know, you don't want all your music signed to one label or whatever. You want to bounce between labels. You want to do solo stuff. You want to do all that, you know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
no, I get you.
So I'm just sort of biding time until I get this victory sound effect. I can't find one.
They're all fucking Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I'm just getting the fucking Final Fantasy one here.
Okay.
So that means you
There we go.
Yeah.
That
was
means that
for,
you're through.
Big Bastard was his name.
Yeah, Big Bastard.
Oh, he's
Congratulations,
from,
Big
he's
Bastard.
from the Netherlands, actually.
Well done, Big Bastard. You did it.
Alright, I'm going to
You
forward that to
truly
you.
were the biggest bastard.
See, we really need to go in our inboxes. We got a few like that we haven't followed through with you. Alright, next.
Yeah, let's go next to Jamie Reynolds. Or is that James Reynolds? I think that's James Reynolds. He sent us 20,000 links and none of them are SoundCloud.
Yeah, just
Fuck
skip
you.
that. Fuck that.
Idiot.
Hold on,
Okay.
he's got a YouTube link. Let's just give him that.
He's got a YouTube link, has he? Oh. He's got a twitch.tv link as well.
Oh, it's an interview of him on the radio. Do you want to review this?
On WTBU, the beat.
It's a fucking banger, dude.
University. The
skip into it a bit.
Right.
There's a little bit of funk in there, like some, like kind of the James Brown style, or maybe Tower Power, like those kind of clean guitar sounds with like a lot of stattacco.
Man, isn't it so boring just talking about music like that? Like, why would you want to listen to someone talk about how they made music in that way? It's so fucking boring.
It's so fucking stupid as well. It's because, like,
I went to the studio, I made a song.
I picked up a keyboard, I played a few notes, it came out sounding great.
Yeah.
I mean, what is there to say that hasn't already been said? And not to mention, you could just play the fucking song.
yeah, exactly. Especially these days, yeah. Like the concept of music review and such made sense, like in the past when, you didn't have that access to music and you had to, like, let's say there were 20 albums out and, you could only buy one of them. Reading a music review sort of made sense. What am I going to spend my money on? Kind of thing. Like, I remember there's a band called The Locust. I remember reading a review of theirs in Enemy magazine that got 10 out of 10. So I just went out and bought the CD and ended up quite liking it. So that, that's how reviews worked back in the day. But these days,
Nowadays,
you can
not
listen
so much.
to anything in like 1 second, so the whole concept's a bit silly.
You don't have to buy a CD.
Yeah. Well, it's like, why would you buy a CD now? I guess it's like, it's to like get off the internet in a way. It's like a whole different like concept.
Okay, next up we have a demo from Willie Quo. Willie Quo.
Alright.
Willie Quo. Always have an exceedingly prosperous desire to make exceptional music. As music is the expression of art, I devote to writing for it. Life is art. Music is the way helping people truly get into it. Please kindly review the attached link of my work. As you can see, free SoundCloud links.
Alright, which one? Happy Birthday? That's what I'm feeling.
Yes, let's listen to Happy Birthday.
Let me sing you a happy birthday. I do it only for praise. All the blessings I truly mean. Yeah, we sure gonna celebrate on this joyous and special day.
What are you thinking?
Always feel like 17. Just a friend to me.
I'm having PTSD flashbacks right now.
What, from, what was his name? George Bendock?
Yes.
I was thinking the same thing, actually.
I am having George Bendock-induced PTSD.
Run the
fucking hell! Please no.
All right.
Let's look at Bark and Benny. Bark and Benny, fucking mad Bark and bastard. Oh, we're not doing Bark and Benny? Oh, we are doing Bark and Benny.
You better be doing Bark and Benny, you bastard bitch. Hey, hopefully you listen to the Bark and Benny show reel. What do you think? We have not listened to the Bark and Benny show reel, but we will now listen to the Bark and Benny show reel, and we will start with Limbo. We'll start with Limbo.
Oh, God.
If this music isn't barking mad, I'm gonna be real upset.
Ugh. What's the point in this? There you go. I thought that tune was just going to be that fucking piano and shitty drum beat.
Good. Kind of like reggae vibes.
Little
to
fake
it.
out as well. Oh, here we go. What the f is this?
I don't know whether to love it or hate it.
I'm just waiting for like the next part of the song. You see, it's like really milking this bit. Alright, so shall we listen to another one? Get a better picture of this guy.
Next? Silver Seas. This isn't Silver Seas.
Bit more industrial this time.
Yeah, this has definitely got those kind of raw, gritty sounds that I like. I really like it.
Raw, been done a million times before kind of song. At least he's having a bit of Cotton Eye Joe.
He's got the banjo in there.
Yeah, a bit of Cotton Eye Joe.
You can't say that industrial banjo music's been done before.
No, yeah, this is. I've never heard anything like this. I mean, obviously I've heard industrial music and I've heard banjo and I've heard Cotton Eye Joe, but I've never heard those all merged together, and I guess that was so there we go.
Man, Barkin' Benny sure is crazy.
Alright, one more tune. So hear this.
Wow.
It's not even like...
I like this. I like this guy. He's unique.
No, it's just like I don't care. It's just like whatever.
You don't care about that?
No. It's boring.
Wow. How is it boys? Industrial banjo music.
Yeah, great.
Come on.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like great. He created another shit genre that we didn't need. Fantastic.
Ah, man.
I'm
sorry,
just like
Benny.
I get the whole point. It's meant to be like novel or whatever, and like that to me is like boring. Like the concept of like novel music is antiquated. I'm not interested in it.
All right. Well, I suppose it's on to the next one. Timon de Nord.
All right.
Hi, Dream Catalogue. Here is a SoundCloud link to music.
Yeah, well, he linked us a tiny URL, so I'm not clicking it right next.
Hello there, my name is Peregrine Groom.
Wait, your surname is Groomer? Oh no.
Right,
oh no, now.
Hello there, my name is Peregrine Groom. I'm a 19-year-old American solo act, and I'm committed to making a living in the music industry. You probably know the drill, so I'll get to it. I'm gonna steal your kids. You're never gonna see your kids again. I'm gonna grab them out the backyard.
Sunshine.
Yeah, this does sound like groomer music, alright.
I kind of like it. Bit emo.
Music to abduct children to.
No. I think you're pushing that grim. I think a bit too much.
Look, if you can shit on Bark and Benny,
right, let's
I can shit.
I like it. This has got to have a proper good chorus to take it to the next level.
Alright, you know what?
Come on, no, wait, is the chorus. Come on.
Catch me just right in that ultraviolet light. Such a small price for
what is this fucking B-Tech My Chemical Romance bullshit?
You're not feeling
Why
it.
the bullshit? You.
See, what it really needs is a bit of white banshee treatment. Like, it needs a bit of a drill beat to it rather than the sort of plodding rock beat. It needs a bit more saturation on everything, and the vocals need to be a bit more heavily processed. A bit of auto-tune, you know, a bit of room reverb, all the usual.
That shit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna mince words. That was awful. I want those 5 minutes of my life back, but I'm not.
So you don't listen to any more of Peregrine?
No, oddly enough, I don't.
Right,
Weird
okay.
that, but I want to move on to.
All right, next.
No, Willie Quo is back again. Our
Willie
good friend
Quo is
Willie
back.
Quo. Willie Quo is back again. This time, he said he was the world's worst. No. Go back on that. Go back on that. He said it as a fucking music B-mail out written in Comic Sans.
Yeah.
The fucking audacity. We got to sign this guy now. We got to sign it. Like, the audacity of that.
All right.
Holy
next.
shit. All right. Twisted Mental. Look.
So this guy is Ethernet.
Okay.
He was DMing me saying like, how do I, you know, how do I get on the label or whatever? And I said, you know, send a demo, and I sent him the link and so forth. And he said it's a collab between him and someone else or something like that. So I guess we'll go and pick a tune off here. Not that you can read any of it, but
You can't read it because it looks like it's written in fucking Nordic runes or something. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Let's
Go on,
just
pick track number then.
4.
Track 4.
Sounds like I just downloaded a torrent file.
Man, you know what? Like, I'm trying to fucking control the volume of fucking Bandcamp. Like, so shit, man. Like, Bandcamp.
Oh yeah, because they don't have a fucking volume slider in after
it's
like
like fucking 2021 and Bandcamp doesn't have a volume slider. Alright, hold on.
13 years on the internet and 0.
Gotta do it fucking manually through Windows. Oh god. What are you thinking?
Okay, that was.
I mean, it's got good ideas too. It's just like the tempo's all off, and I guess that's meant to be the point. But I don't really like that part of it. Like, I'd rather the tempo sort of flowed.
I like the vocals
It's like,
bits, like those
when
little...
you've got your tempo going like all over the place, it's a bit too vaporwave. I think it's, you know, it reminds me of like, you know, Macintosh Plus or whatever. See, like, there's no beat to it. Oh, I guess it's flipped now. So there's like some concept as well with the album about
extreme psychoactivities is the word that I immediately read.
yeah. See, like, that's another thing. I'm not really interested in concept music. Like, I'm at a point with it now where it's like, what's the point? Like, because it's like the same point I made about films earlier. Like, I don't want to sit and watch a film for 2 hours. Like, I don't want to, you know, participate in a concept album either. It's like the world right now is too interesting to care about like escapism and concept. So that's just my foot. We'll keep listening to this anyway. So let's give this another listen here.
already we're immediately back in the vaporwave territory.
Yeah, it's just like, it reminds me of like Death's Divine and McShrab, that kind of stuff, like the glitchy.
Reminds me of the kind of shit I'd find on like early DMT. You know, when DMT tapes was
like
first starting off.
2014 vaporwave kind of stuff.
I mean, what's the difference? That he has a vocal track? That's like the only difference. It's not even like a good vocal track. I'll be honest, I'm not rating this at all.
Yeah, I'm not really feeling it either.
Just a bit shit, really. And it's a shame too, because that was the most recent one. So unless we're going to be doing a one from further back, that's the end of the demo segment.
No, you got loads of demos. It's just like, you know, do you want to pick one more?
Yeah, let's do one more. Let's try and end this on a high, shall we? Let us end on Klinkhammer. Klinkhammer sounds interesting.
Klinkhammer, where's that?
It's third one down from the top. It's
got it, yeah, okay.
Klinkhammer. Hi, we really appreciate your work, and therefore wanted to send you an album of Berlin-based artist Lisa Klinkhammer. We are looking for a label that could fit and would be interesting in releasing it. If you like, please have a listen. Thank you so much.
Okay, come on, Klinkhammer. We need something good to end the show on.
Go on, pick a tune.
Let's listen to Auf der Hut.
Bleib nicht still, wir müssen gehen. Auf der Hut siehst du mein Gesicht, bleib nicht stehen, wir müssen gehen.
Until you brought that synth in, I was on board.
Yeah, like the synth, like just.
As soon as you brought that synth in, just totally killed
I really
it.
like the voice. Let's try a different tune. Go on,
Yeah, she has a nice voice. Drowner. I like the neat sound of it.
Drowner, okay. That's a better synth.
Not much better.
Yeah, maybe not, yeah. The
Could you
great
please get
Lisa Klinkhammer.
Could you please get a synth made after 1986, please? Thank you.
Yeah, the problem is she has a nice voice. But this production, whoever's doing the production, if that's her doing the production, she's shit. And if her production's being done by someone else, then they're shit. But her voice is very nice.
She's got one good song on here. This one's pretty bad too.
It has that kind of like, her voice has that kind of like weariness to it. I don't know if you can hear that.
Yeah.
Is there someone
like an
laughing?
old granny.
Yeah, but she's yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
Lisa, old granny Klinkhammer.
Old granny Klinkhammer.
Old granny Klinkhammer.
Let's listen to the song.
Old granny Klinkhammer.
Let's listen to the song called "Is There Someone Laughing?" Because we fucking are.
Yeah. Is there someone laughing? Oh Jesus, that's synth again.
Jesus Christ!
Fuck's sake, old granny Klinkhammer.
God damn it! This is why her music sounds like this. She's using a little like fucking Casio keyboard that her fucking grandchildren left behind when they moved out of their house.
Yeah.
Because this is all she has left.
I really like the voice. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, the vocals are cracking, but the production is so fucking bad.
Why don't you hit her up for a collab or something? Make some good tunes for her.
Yeah, I might head on down to the old age pensioners place. I'm
Hey,
like, head down.
Granny, clean camera.
Hey, yo, old granny, hop in my caddy. I take you for a ride through the bingo halls and shit. Oh, what's that? You want to go to Tombola? How about I call you a tomboy bitch and you get in my car and we fuck in the back seat, ho? Shit.
Alright, enough of this. Alright, is that
Like a clink hammer do.
Like Alright, can we just end on this?
Yes, let's end on old lady clink hammer. Let's let her play it out.
Until next week, peace.
See ya. Old lady.